Hello, my name is Miss Regan and I am your student's 8th grade resource math teacher. I am from Pequannock, New Jersey, so just the town over. I studied at Seton Hall University for my undergrad, and I am a current grad student at Ramapo College. I'm currently on my second year at Lincoln Park Middle School. Last year I taught 5th and 6th resource room, both language arts and math. This year I'm only teaching 7th and 8th grade math. So I've been doing kind of both, and this year I'm very excited to be with an older group, which I've already grown to love so much. So our curriculum in math this year is actually brand new. It's called Ready Math, and I'm sure you guys all know of the iReady tests and those lessons. It's basically a curriculum based off of those iReady assessments. So the curriculum is the same creators that make our iReady, so our school is very familiar with the platform already, but this is our first year using it as a curriculum, and currently only the 8th grade is using it. The previous curriculum digits, I've heard from previous grades that it was very challenging, and especially in resource room math, it was extremely difficult for the students to understand. So we're hoping that this is a much better fit for our 8th graders. So here's the curriculum. Our students have not gotten this yet, but throughout the year, we're going to go through geometric figures. So that's like graphs and transformations on graphs. We're going to do linear relationships and functions, which they did last year, so just an extended version of it. We're going to go through integers, exponents, real numbers, and statistics if we get to it by the end of the year. So that's just a quick synopsis of all the topics that we do throughout the school year. And again, this is a resource room, so the way I design my classes is we will be learning all the same topics, all the same information as a general education classroom. The biggest difference is the pacing. So I go a lot slower and really base my lessons around the students' needs. So I may teach a lesson on Monday and plan to move on Tuesday, but if I see that the students need more time on this lesson, I could take 1 day, 2 days, a whole week on one lesson if it's needed. So I really will look at how the students are grasping the information and take that and move on when I feel that everybody's ready to move on, which is the flexibility that a lot of the general education teachers don't necessarily get. Additionally, I give modifications on all my assessments. So what do those look like? Which means they could really vary for every student. There's been times last year where I made 3 to 4 different versions of the same test to meet the needs of every single student. So there might be a test where one student's taking it on the iReady platform, one student's taking it on a Google form, and the third student's taking it in a PowerPoint setting. And somebody might receive a cheat sheet with little help to get them through the problems, while somebody else might have little hints within the problems. I do allow calculators on my tests, but because I do, it means that they have to show their work a little bit more in depth, so I really understand that they know the process. So, for example, if we have a long division question, the students will be allowed to use their calculators to figure out, okay, how many times does 8 go into 328? So first, how many times does 8 go into 32? And they'll be able to use their calculator for that, but that means that I'm looking a lot more closely on how they're showing their work because I do allow calculators. Another thing to mention is that there is a lot of help throughout the room, so I could walk around the classroom just so you can get a feel of what your students see every day. So here is our smartboard area, and over here you can see there's a lot of little hints that could help them. The multiplication table specifically, the students utilize quite frequently. We have our honor code and our bell schedule. Then in the back, we also have a number line and place value chart that the students also utilize quite frequently. And sorry if I've been shaky. Just wanted to give a quick little idea of what your students walk into on a daily basis. So if anybody has any questions about the year to come or what other typical days in my classroom look like. For the most part, we start with a do now. They walk in and there's 1 to 3 questions on the board, typically from a lesson from the previous day, so that they're quickly reminded and brought back into the mentality of math before we start with our next lesson or we continue from the lesson from the previous day. I go over every single do now with them, so if there were any mistakes or misinterpretations, they're kind of made clear right from the get-go, and then we move on from there. So that's what a day in my classroom looks like from the start. We move on, and I typically start with modeling, slowly go through guided practice, and then if time allows, I do like independent practice as well or partner practice, obviously keeping at our 3 feet apart and sitting at our desks in the appropriate space. I know this back to school night is very different than usual, but if you have any questions, I will be on my computer ready to answer emails all night. My email is regan@lincparkpk.com. So Regan, Regan, @lincpk.com. If you have any questions, not only tonight, but at any time throughout the school year, I will always answer as quickly as I possibly can. And I'm really excited for this school year, and I'm really excited to work with all your students who I've already grown to have a great relationship with, I feel, already. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your night, enjoys watching all these videos. And again, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you, and have a great night.